So long ago, enemies keep coming after me. Still acknowledge, yeah, you got it all. If you ask me, yeah, it's all a game of chance. Don't know the thinking, life never goes our way that you want. That's how it is. No matter what life throw that you take it on. Whoa, fight like a tiger, walk in the park, play the hero till I die. Fly like an eagle, soar through the sky, be free till you die. I don't believe in any miracles. I risk a loss any day. Gambling's only for fools. Take nothing for granted. If you don't seize the chance, it's over for you. Life never goes the way you want. That's how it is. No matter what happens, face it all head on. Whoa, fight like a tiger, walk in the park, play the hero till I die. Fly like an eagle, soar through the sky, be free till you die. Life is about swimming against the harshest wave. The moment you give in, you'll get wiped out. Oh, fight like a tiger, walk in the park, play the hero till I die. Fly like an eagle, soar through the sky, be free till you die. Fight like a tiger, fight like a tiger, fly like an eagle, soar through the sky, be free till I die.
Hello everyone, my name is Enslaved Anon and I write games for fun, and it's been a lovely week coming back here. Yes, I'm back, I'm alive. Welcome back to the official streams, rather than a curious case in which I lose my mind going over games that may or may not be good. Hi, I'm alive, I'm here, had a fun week last week, and yesterday was very hectic. Ran a test game actually for Metal Saviors, so hopefully everything works out for that game. Everyone seems very excited, all my players. But we don't get to have fun today. We get to look at Monster Girl Adventures, the ReMonstered edition. Yes, the ReMonstered. Now, it's been about a week and a half since we've actually officially gone over what I wanted to do with this particular game, so I'm going to give everybody a rough lowdown. The entire idea for this is to completely rewrite almost Monster Girl Adventures from the ground up, trying my best to actually make something decent. Maybe. The entire idea here is that I'm going to try to make the game comfier. I'm going to reduce things down like combat or anything that is not considered comfortable or friendly. So effectively, it's slowly morphing into a Monster Girl visual novel simulator, for better or for worse. Now, why is this the case? Well, put it very simply, because no other option was good enough. Every other option was kind of awful. So there's two goals in this particular series, particular game that we have to do. Is one, we have to surgically remove all the Monster Girl Encyclopedia from this game. What we also have to do, outside of surgically removing all of the Monster Girl Encyclopedia, is to write a decent game, which is going to be its own complicated endeavor. Enjoy hellish work. Good luck. Yeah. Pretty much. No, we are not adding an autistic seduction system. We are not making vor rules. No pregnancy system. No, none of that. We need to make things nice and easy and simple. Now, I did do some work. No, don't you think that I didn't do anything, absolutely nothing during this time. If things look a little bit janky, it's because I did do some readjusting. So, I rewrote the preface, obviously. That was one thing I was going to do. Basically, it's like, this is like the sequel to Monster Girl Adventures. More of me kind of going over what it is, what it isn't, and leading to playing the game. Now, playing the game, I did do some minor things, which is the idea of everything is going to be played with a 6-sided dice, a D6, 3 to 5 players, the Demon Lord, actually I should say the Dark Lord, and little to no shame. When a character attempts an action with a chance of failure, a check is called. The character rolls their attribute plus skill plus modifier in D6s and attempt to score a success. A success is any die that shows a 5 or a 6. So no 4, 5, 6, it's just 5 or 6. I want to make that very clear, make things a little bit more difficult. You got about a 33% chance per die. Now, what you need to do is you need to make a target number set by the Dark Lord. I should say do this because there's actually a reason why. And we have our very basic difficulties. Most of the time, I'm probably going to be saying easy to average is going to be a majority of these. These are going to be the most common, 1, 2, 3. These are going to be a little bit more rare. Actually, what I should say is difficult, complicated. If I want to make this correct, complicated, difficult, heroic. Okay. Combined successes equal or greater than the target number, they succeed at the action and clear the situation. If they roll less than the target number, they fail and suffer the consequences. Now, the big idea is this. If the character rolls a 1 on the die, then it is corrupted, reducing the number of total successes by 1. You have more corrupt die than successes, it's a corrupted failure, and things have gone from bad to worse. Pretty much it. You have a critical fail mechanic kind of in this, because I thought that would be nice to have. Why? Because I thought so. Because it's kind of neat. I'm like, alright, I wanted, like, part of me wants to take the system someplace completely different. It's an autistic seduction inherent to the game. Yeah, it is inherent to the game. Doesn't mean I gotta like it. Half of me wants to take the entire system and gut it completely, changing everything. The other half of me is like, nope, I want to keep the D6 dice pool. At the end of the day, what the game is take a few D6s, roll, and count your successes. You got 1, 2, 3, whatever. That's all it is. That's what I want the game to be at the end of the day. Very simple, very easy to understand. And here's a basic setting that is fundamentally different from everything else. I needed to understand what are the differences and how to justify this game. The entire concept is very simple. A long time ago, an eldritch monster thing came, an eldritch being from beyond time and space came. But there are human kingdoms, and then there are monster tribes. They didn't get along for a while, but turns out when aliens invade, they got together and they ran out to save the day. And the big thing was that at one point a hero appeared, Sato, and he befriended a bunch of monsters. With the bond, they were able to defeat the Dark Lord, but it also led to the fact that, like, wait a second, we well, it turns out if the hero and a monster get together, everyone's powers gets increased. So it's the idea of like, we want heroes. Heroes are good. So purpose of this lore, it's just like, it's bullshit. It doesn't really mean anything. It's not the point. The point isn't for it to make anything more than it. It's just there. So yeah, we're starting effectively from here. I haven't really touched anything here. Everything else has just been already gutted and changed. What we're going to need to do is rework almost everything. A lot. Remember, this is a 124-page document at one point. It's 80 pages now. It's great. I love it. But let's start from the top, shall we? I came in late. Did you finally realize that the game, nay, the entire concept is unsalvageable? Hey, the fact that there have been a number of people requesting that I fix it, and it is by far my most popular game, the concept is not unsalvageable. I can make it work, Ethical. You don't understand. I can make it work. So let's see. Attributes represent characters' innate talents. For the uncorrupted, these range from 0 to 5. So welcome to the wonderful world of me having to change everything. So represent a character. We want to do represent a character's innate talents, and what would be innate talents and potential for humanity, for the hero, for humans. These often range from 2 to 6. With actually no, how do I want to word this? Fuck. How do I want to word this? Actually, for humanity, these range from 0 to 5, with 0 be actually from, we'll say 1 to 5, with 1 being excessively poor, and 5 being almost peak performance. For the monstrous tribes, these range from 1 to 10. From 1 to 10, often with monstrous tribes being more suited. Fuck. How do I want to do this? What's the answer here? No. Okay, these range from being excessively poor and 5 being almost peak performance. Unless we just say fuck it. For adventures of both humanity and monsters, these range from 1 to, we'll say 1 to 10. 1 to 10, with 1 being excessively poor and 10 being peak performance. There we go. We want to make that nice and easy. Keep things simple. Give me 1 second. I need to post something really fast. People posting cringe in my server, more likely than you think. So where are we? So excellent intent being peak performance. Both humans and monsters. Actually, both human heroes and monsters can can exceed basic limits, but require time and effort to do such. A starting character must have a minimum of one in an attribute, and a maximum of 8 in an attribute. Starting character must have a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 8 in an attribute. Humans start with 14. Is that how I wanted to? Actually, humans start with 12 attributes. Attribute points, while monsters begin with 14. So monsters have a slight advantage, just a little bit more, but you can still only go 8. However, we're only going to keep, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 attributes. And if we're doing our math here correctly, so if we do 12 divided by 5, you're roughly going to end up with 2s across the board with a 3 in there. If we do 14 divided by 5, you're roughly going to end up with 3s across the board. 3s across the board with the occasional 2, with 1, 2 in there. That's a little low. However, what we can do, if we really want to keep things present here, monsters tend to have a higher base potential than humans, but base potential for higher base potential than humans, but it can only be brought out successfully by a daring actually no. Higher base potential than monsters tend to have a higher base potential than humans, but often stuck in their ways without someone willing to help them break their limits. There we go. That's how we're going to justify leveling up in kind of a way, being like, why are monsters so much stronger? Because they need you, the human, to actually assist them with that. That's how they're going to actually be able to level up more consistently, is that they're going to be a little bit stronger than you. The problem is they're not going to level up as easily. So you're very important to them in more ways than one. Could just make it. See, this is one of the issues when we're dealing with here, because everybody has a slightly different understanding of what a fucking monster girl is, and I need to factor in. Let me see, Kobold MG. I need to factor in. Is that going to be porn anywhere? No. Okay, it's not going to be porn anywhere yet. I need to factor this in just as much as I need to factor this in. These are technically under the same rough categories, according to the wonderful world of a word. Shut up, Juneteenth. No one cares. I can't say that. Twitter, clip that. So I'm a little bit hesitant to being like, well, monsters have to have like a certain attribute. What the goal would that be? I'm going to have to put a side note at the very end there. Would be something along the line like, hey, if you have an attribute 6+ attribute, then you're probably focused in that attribute. Being kind of the idea. Being like, you've dumped way too much time and effort into it. That's something that really defines you more than you would think it would. What am I thinking? Shikikam. So I have 3 options with attributes. Either 1, We keep the attributes as is, the body, bravado, scholarship, reflexes, drop corruption entirely. Just drop corruption entirely. There's no fifth one. There's only the 4 attributes, in which would make, you're going for humans. Humans would get an average of 3s across the board, which is pretty standard. A little bit low, but should be okay. What I might do is actually increase it. Monsters would end up with 3s. Would end up with an average of 3, 3, 4, 4. That would be the average spread for monsters. The average spread for humans would be 3s across the board. Now you may be saying, well, I want to keep things average. Well, you don't usually. Alternatively, we go for the traditional body, mind, soul approach. Increase them naturally, like they're just higher, because then the base for humans would be 4, 4, 4. So you'd already be rolling 4d6. Well, monsters would end up with 3 divided by that would be, technically it would be like 4, 5, 5. Like you're already, like by default, you're rolling a decent amount of dice. Yeah, like that's kind of the idea, what I want to get across, being like, kind of understand what kind of monster you're going to be making. And if you have like a high attribute in this, if you say, I'm playing a tiny little monster with absolutely no physical strength, maybe don't invest all your points into body or something like that. Again, there's a few options here. Either we go real simple, like body, mind, soul, and pretty much like a tri-stat, like just basic tri-stat. We can alternatively go for the body, bravado, scholarship, reflexes route, which would be more of a quad stat, which is a little bit more focused, with the idea being like body and tri-stat body is a combination of physical strength, physical speed, and things like that. Just anything related to your body. Mind is anything related to intelligence. Soul is anything else, pretty much. However, the other version have a little bit differences when it comes to, it's the difference between, do you want nuance to the skills or do you not want nuance to the skills? I am leaning toward the first one, unless you guys have a different idea in mind. Because the thing is, like, this isn't like a game that I could, like, there wasn't really anything I could reference for this. I had a few ideas, but like none of them really panned out in any way, unless they went real light or excessively non-existent. Like there was a lot of extremes, unfortunately, and there was nothing really that jumped out and said this is the correct way of doing things. This turns out making a glorified dating sim RPG is a little bit more complex than I was thinking about, because you gotta actually like think of like stats and stuff. And unfortunately, I've committed to doing this, so here we are now. One thing I was thinking about doing is changing this entirely from more like body and changing them to more like how do I want to word this? Something more abstract focused. So instead of body, mind, soul, it would be something like direct. Or would be what was the one that I did? The excessive amount of games. Why do I have all these games? Send help, I'm in agony. Where was it? Where were you? Not Dark Corners and Old Tomes. My friend literally proposed this as like a cool idea that I should totally do. He proposed it. I'm like, well, here you go. I already wrote this game, my friend. And he's like, oh shit, you did. Let me do Okusan real fast. Okusan's Big Happy Family. We want to do Delusion Walkers, Specialty. Yeah, something more along the lines of this was also an option. Bit more, dare I say, more of like an approach method. it's not perfect, but it would definitely be a different way of looking at things. Like, let's see, do I have anything to reference in this case? I went over a bunch of like, oh, romance RPGs, but none of them really did what I was looking for. That was kind of the issue. And the rest of them just are, again, either way too strange or too broad for what I'm looking for. Which is kind of an unfortunate just combination of agony. In fact, just despair. Do we keep with... We moved to tri-stat. I think moving the tri-stat would be the best. We're going to need more skills, though. Or do we need skills? Higher than average stats. Because with the idea being that you are exceptional people. That's the idea. You are exceptional people for exceptional reasons. And so if we're exceptional people, maybe we increase stats ever so slightly up. Not by much, but just a little bit. Give monsters a little bit more leeway to work with. We give them... With three stats, monsters would have a standard arrangement of 5-5-5. Going up in either direction, we're going to end up with things like 5-5-5, 6-5-4. Let me think. The highest, the most awkward imbalanced version would be 8. That would bring it up to 3, so technically it'd be 8-5-3, actually 8-5-2. But if we really want to skew it, this would be the most skewed version of your stats possible. It would be an 8-6-1 in that regard. That means you are literally crippled in one aspect, but really damn good at damn good, like almost impossibly good at one, and just kind of mid at one. Humans, on the other hand, for 13 attributes, your average is going to end up more along the lines of 5-4-4. That means absolute skew would be 8. If we'd put 3 in there, that would be 8-4-1. That would be the absolute skewed version. And even then, that's not great. I always like looking at averages and ranges, because that's what you can see what players are going to start looking at. If you can understand what players want and what players are going to be looking at, you can understand what you should be building around. If we add in a fourth of these current attributes, monsters would be 15 divided by 4 would be 5, 5, 4, 4. That would put you at 9. That would put you at, no, that puts you at 18. What am I talking about? That would be 15, 4, 16. That would be the most average arrangement right there. An absolute skew would be 4, 3, 1, 7, 8. So this would be the absolute skew. Like, you are not doing too hot. Humans, on the other hand, for 4 stats with 13 would be 4 divided by 13, which would be 4, 3, 3, 3. But the issue being that you would have... You get up to 8. So you get to an 8, you would need... Your stats would be real bad. Because if we do that, you need 2 more to get up to that. So you would get an 8. This would be a full-on maxed out 8-3-1-1. You would be completely fucking crippled in one thing with the current numbers. Do I want 4? Do I want 3? Neither of these answers feel right. Why do neither of the answers feel right? Why, oh, why, oh, why? Unless, okay, here's what we can do. We add in or actually, we need to add skills. We need to add skills, don't we? If we need to add skills. Hello, Witch Krieg. Hello. How are you? Thank you for following. Oh, sweet G. Yeah, welcome to welcome to me literally agonizing over fucking stats. It's great. I love just thinking about fucking attributes in my life. Because this is just numbers. At the end of the day, this is numbers. So if we're looking at it, an average roll you need is a 6. Higher dice does not always mean better because ones are botches. So more dice doesn't always mean better. So if we average out about 3 dice per, let's say you're going to get about 2 for your skills. Anytime you have a skill in something, you're going to be rolling more dice. If you're rolling more dice, that means you're going to be adding more things to it. So we're taking this, we're rolling 1, 2, 3, we roll. I technically scored 0 successes there because I rolled a 1 and a 5. If I roll again, I roll 0 successes. I can't roll for jack diddly shit. With that being so heavy though, you need more dice to offset it, but you're gonna get more dice by virtue of your skills. You're gonna have a lot more. We go with, how about this? I'm not going insane. We go with body, mind, soul, and temperament. Charisma. Social. Social could work. Social feels like it. That sounds too broad at the same time. That doesn't feel right. What am I looking at here? What do I need from this 4th attribute? What does body do? Body's pretty much everything physical related. That's fine. Mind is everything intelligence related. That's fine. Soul is everything metaphysical / magic related. What isn't covered? We can do... But we also need to turn this on its head at some points. This is not only physical, but this should also be mental in a way. Having a high body means that you're not only strong, unless we rename this to like physical, mental, soul's fine. Not all that physical, mental, mental, soul. If we add in social, this would be people, person skills. That doesn't feel right at the same time because that's also kind of tied to everything else in a way. Everything should be able to be used for kind of a people, person skills unless we're doing something along the lines of grace. Would grace be a one? I mean, usually that's the one being met. Grace could work. If we add grace, we could do that being physical, being directly physical, grace being a mixture of social. Actually, what we can do is emotional. We can do that with soul. What would be a good one for this? Grace being like grace under pressure, grace under, being able to just Body, speed, mind, will, body, air, spirit. Grace is usually the one being used in this, yeah. Unless we use ego. Like, agility is usually one that's being used common. But again, combat isn't the focus in this game. That's kind of the issue. That's like one of the big issues is that... What am I looking for here? What do I want? Let's ask myself this. What do I want? Unless we do book smart, grace being reflexes and understanding. If we apply these both to a physical and mental state. Again, both physical and mental state. Physical for physical is simple. Again, we understand what that is. This is exactly used broadly is more of a choice of how you approach a challenge. That's the idea. So if we approach a challenge, we use physical is just using raw strength and raw, just athleticism, and it's also more about more of the raw body, using your body to get what you want. It's raw intimidation value. It's something like that. It's you kind of shoulder bashing somebody out of the way in addition to just being a menacing person. You people are kind of like, oh, he exudes something that I'm a little bit scared the shit out of. You may sound like, oh, well, I'm not the strongest person in the world. Yeah, so opening a locked door sounds feasible with body, grace, and mental, on the other hand, is both book smarts as well as being able to apply things in a more of a grandiose way. It's being able to understand other people in maybe not the best way to understand them emotionally, but be able to understand who they are and why they are the way they are. For example, because I am smart, I know you are in distress. I can't empathize with that very well, but I understand why you are. Like, hey, you have these colors on, therefore you probably belong to these people. I should address you differently. How to speak different languages, how to sound differently. Soul, on the other hand, is more that wearing your heart on your sleeve, in addition to being more magic, more metaphysical. It's about being the essence, the essence of the situation. Grace, on the other hand, is mostly a combination of just reflexive grace, being, delicacy and all that jazz, as well as being able to understand things in a more nuanced way. You may not understand why someone is kind of not feeling well, but you understand that they aren't feeling good. So it's kind of an approach, because I don't want this to have like a role social, because it's a game about having a social relationship, so that's an important part of things. All right, go me. So let's see, we need to remajigger the attributes quite a bit. And with 4, that means 4, 4, 4, 3, 8, 4, 2, 1s. That means you're going to have a high amount of attributes or an approximately horribly low amount of them. Okay, cool. We'll stick with quad stat. I think quad stat is the right way to go. I am going to cut corruption entirely, however. Whoops. Change everything. Okay, so we keep that there. That means we have to rewrite our attributes a little bit. So if we rewrite our attributes, we're going to do, actually, all attributes, I'll add this. All attributes are split between physical, mental, soul, and grace. Even though I could probably come up with a different term for soul. Soul, let's see. All attributes split between physical, mental, soul, and grace. Each of these can be applied in many different scenarios, and in both physical and in both direct, indirect, Actually, yeah. And actually, each of these can be applied in different scenarios in different contexts. A character with high physical. With high physical is actually no. What we do there. All attributes are split between these, and then we can apply some math autism down below because math autism is always nice to have. So, high int, low soul, robot, monster girl, GF. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so physical. How do we want to word these? So actually we do physical PHY because I like having that, just like, hey, if you need to make a check here, PHY, make a PHY check, make a physical check. That's kind of that idea. Let's do the character's physical condition. Actually, no, the character's physical condition and use of their body to get what they want. A character applying physical in a direct way involves pushing, shoving, hitting or lifting the problem out of the way. The character using their physical in indirect, using their physical attribute in an indirect way, often has them using intimidating or assisting others. Again, it's the idea of me effectively posing on you. That's that raw, like, I am a physically imposing person or some such. Naming might be a little bit, again, I might even change the name from attributes. That is a non-zero. That is a valid idea in my book, is just changing the name from attributes to something else. I think we should drop the examples just so people kind of understand that, I don't feel like too compelled to use this particular one. Sounds a little bit awkward. I might do that at the end. It's like, here's a side note, because I'm going to have a lot of room down here. Because I'm going to have to cut this. Because if I can give an example of, like, here's opening a locked door. Someone using physical, someone using this, and being kind of like, hey, you want to open a locked door with physical? The character shoulder bashes it in. It's gonna, you bash it open, you kick it open. Using grace to open it is, fiddling with the lock just right to pop it open. Mental, using your soul is kind of trying to find, using magic to blast the lock open, while using mental is realizing it's a pull door instead of a push door. Like, that kind of idea. This is distinctly a PG-13 idea. Let's see. Characters brute force charisma. We don't need that. That leads us to mentalio. Mental men. The character's scholarly if I can fucking spell, knowledge and desire to learn. Character applying characters. Actually, a character applying a character. No, we do a character. A character using mental to solve their problems directly involves finding the right information or learning or remembering obscure trivia. Use a character character approaching the situation with mental indirectly involves them learning. Actually, no, fuck. How do I want to word this? Son of a bitch. I always hate writing attributes. They're the most annoying fucking thing in the world. Because you can understand what you're thinking, but try writing it down in words, it never sounds correct. Actually, no. A character may also use their mental to reason out another's truth, or to reason out another's lies, or put pieces together, which may actually put together fuck. What am I thinking of here? I know what I'm thinking. I know what I'm saying. Do I just write in whatever the fuck the stats are with a little blurb next to it? Jesus, that might be the better option. If we do this, well, I'm going to have a lot of fucking room. That's going to be one thing, being like, this is what it is. Unless we do scholarly knowledge and desire to learn. A character with high mental is both intelligent and remarkably quick on. Oh, fuck, how do you write? What's a good way of writing this? Sometimes these are very easy to write. Other times they are not easy to write. Mostly when you know exactly what you're saying, but you don't know what the fuck you want to get across. I can see what I want. I understand what I want. I'm trying to figure out why I want it that way. And it's driving me nuts. Because most of the time it's things like this. This is pretty easy. What am I looking for? What do I want? What am I thinking? Ideal number of stats? I will say this. There's no ideal number of stats in any game. The ideal number of stats always boils down to two factors. What do you actually want to represent, and what do you actually want to do? The problem is twofold. If you have too many stats, sometimes there's going to be stats that feel useless. It's like, why do I ever want to invest in the Ordos skill? I don't fucking know. I'm coming up like, why do I ever want to invest in the Ordos attribute when I can invest in body and get a shit ton more? There's too much you have to spread around to, and spreading out is a lot harder. Too little stats, and that means stats become overvalued. It's just like, well, I have 3 options here. I have to, it's heavy. It's harder to invest in a single one. Some games like World of Darkness do this pretty well by just giving you like a lot of points you have to spread among them. So it's kind of it averages out a little bit easier. Others don't. God help you if you're making a skill system. A skill-focused attribute system. God help you. That's all I got to say to that. Okay. No. What am I thinking of? No bad. Think smart. This is a visual novel game. This is a fucking visual novel game. Mental. A character's in scholarly knowledge, and information gathering abilities. as characters with high mental tend to see things logically, but have difficulty sorting through their own emotions. Actually tend to see things logically and precise. Maybe without the nuances behind it. So it's kind of like the undid, like, here's something what someone with a really high would do. However, you're like, maybe you're not really good at expressing yourself. So this is kind of the basic concept. I have to alphabetize it a little bit better. What we can do for physical is instead the character's physical conditioning. Get what they want. Physical and using their body to get what they want. Characters with high physical are strong, tough, and often not able, and find it hard to express themselves without using that physicality. It's kind of along the idea of being like, if you aren't kind of being physical, it's kind of hard for you. Let the nuances behind it to provide necessary context. So the idea behind someone with really high physical is that, like, you're really strong and tough, but you can't really express yourself all that well because you don't quite understand how to. It's the best way to think about this character archetype wise is this is the really athletic person who everything is kind of like, yeah, let's go out and do stuff. And you're like, I don't really know how to do anything else. Like, you can still be smart and physical, but it's kind of like, I'm just kind of that kind of person. I just find it difficult to be able to express myself in a non-physical way. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll put the Scylla up there because Scylla is kind of mid TBH, but I can't say anything. Soul, S-U-L. I usually use S-U-L, Sul. Characters with high mental intelligence, nihilistic, with a wicked sense of humor. Unfortunately, God, not again. Sul, a character's inner strength and emotional expression toward others. Inner strength. Characters with high soul tend to be extroverted to the point of difficulty. Always willing to be around. Actually, no. How do I want to word this? Characters with high soul are loud, outgoing, willing to help, and explosive in temperaments. And magic. Because that's how I'm going to be basing magic around, is pretty much your mental state. Because I think that would be a funny thing to worry about. Because, oh no, this girl is the hot-headed tsundere type. She just blew up half the fucking town. Shit. Where? Oh no, Kuwaru-chan, I'm in fucking danger. Oh no, my girlfriend's a nuclear weapon. What do I do? Please send help. I can't fit them all unless if I shrink you down a little bit to like right here. I should be able to fit everything in. That leads to Grace, GRC, characters, what am I thinking of? Grace synonym. Grace synonym. Finesse. Mental and physical finesse. If I can fucking spell. Characters mental and physical finesse in many areas. A character with high grace is able to pinpoint small problems and issues with ease. Delivering the exact word, delivering the solution quickly, but requires time and investment to do such. Being graceful means that you have a finesse to do something. Doesn't always mean it's going to be the best thing to do. Sometimes you need to hit someone over the head with the fucking hammer. Grace isn't very good with that. So if we do that, let me see this role. Uncorrupted character cannot even point to corruption. Scraps. Okay, go away. Don't need you anymore. So we need now to get to do the fun part. Side note. Actually, an example. In exemplenos. Are you unironically writing a Monster Girl system? No, I am rewriting a Monster Girl system. Thank you very much. This is the ReMonstered edition. This is the second edition. Thank you very much. The second edition. Because MGA Classic is what I'm going to be dubbing it from now on. They're back, everybody. This was recently too. These are recent. People literally just came in here like last week and changed things. No, none of those table bullshit. No tables, no anything. But yeah, this was the original version. Like, this is classic edition. This is like all the shit that I've done. Like, it's 124 pages. That just got added over the years. I'm like, I need to fix all this shit. It doesn't work. I need to fix it. So, when you say, oh no, you're unironically doing this. No, I already unironically do this. This is out of obligation at this point. Remember that. So an example, opening a door. We'll do direct applications. Actually, I know we'll do Sir Bucket and his trusty and his companion. What's a good random? What did I end up call? What was the example characters from the original? I had example characters throughout here. Like I had a pretty much like my sample character for almost everything was Sir Bucket and his trusty friend, who was a harpy. I can't remember her name. Yeah, Mr. Bucket was everywhere. Yeah, welcome to, there's far too much of this shit. Fuck it. I don't think I have it anymore, so I need to come up with a brand new name. What would be, let's see. We want a monster's companion name, Sir Bucket, and his companion. What would be a good, let's see, random name generator. Behind the name. All right, feminine name, first name only. Generated name Yannick. That's a terrible name. F5 Enola and Prachi Sadra. We'll go with Sadra. Cool. And his companion Sadra the Sadra the Harpy. Sadra of the Harpy tribe. are currently trying to open a door up. Trying to open a locked door. Locked door. Sir. We can do mark it as physical. Sir Bucket opts to use his high physical to simply shoulder bash the door down. Mental. Actually, no. What we'll do is mental. Sandra looks at the door and realizes it. Looks at the door, looks at the door, and after a bit of inspection, realizes that the hinges are slightly rusted. So a nasty kick quickly breaks them. Soul. Sandra, being we'll do Bucket, being a slightly competent hero, uses a spell. The Lamia Chiefess taught him, and blows a hole open in the door. It was supposed to be a lock opening spell. Right. And then finally we need to do Grace. Sandra takes kicks the door with her. What would you tap? With her talons at the right angle, leaving a mark in it. Actually, no. We'll use Sadra over here. Sadra being slightly competent. Uses Lami taught her and blows. Sir Bucket. His trusty knife and begins the slow process of jimmying the door open. Until the old wouldn't be the hinges. It would be the old lock eventually clicks open. There we go. Just the idea of being like, here's some very basic applications of like, you can use things in many different ways. That's the point. The point is that you can use all of these attributes to do something. Doesn't matter how you do it, it just matters that you can do it. Control-Shift-8. This also gives me an explanation to do this, so we need to do Grace, Mental, Physical, Soul. Grace needs to go up here. Mental, Physical, Soul at the bottom. Nope, gotta put you down here. Gotta put the Scylla up here. There we go. Grace, Mental, Physical, and Soul. And then we do that, opening a door up. And then we hit... There we go, we hit that button. Welcome to making tables in Google Docs, otherwise known as a complicated task, because Google Docs is the worst goddamn thing to ever use. So, Sir Bucket and his companion Sadra are currently trying to negotiate with a particularly nasty Oni tribe for safe passage through their lands. And then what we can do is we can just select all of these and select right there, and then we do, what am I doing? No, just write it. What am I? This is called me drinking like 6. Now, for context, everyone, the beer I'm drinking is called Cujo by Flying Dog, actually. It's a cold brew coffee porter. Shit's black. Love it. Came from one of the bars, one of the little beer places around me. It's actually very good. A little bit heavier than I thought it was going to be, actually. I like my beer heavy. Because I like my beer like I like my bread. Being able to chew it. Let's see. Grace. Sir Bucket explains the situation, slowly mentioning the value of not fighting the hero, not fighting the two of them for due to the encroaching bandits they are actually hunting. Mental. Sadra takes a quick look around, pointing out that there are only a handful of Oni here, and that they probably are getting desperate. They are actually. Sadra takes a quick look, pointing out the number of Oni investigating them. Let's see. Sadra takes a quick look around, pointing out the number of Oni investigating them. Commenting on the fact they probably were expecting more enemies than just them, which leads to physical. Sir Bucket bucks up and the Oni and bucks up to the Oni war leader. The two staring each other down until one breaks. Sadra begins chatting in a friendly way, explaining who they are and what they are doing, putting the Oni at ease. There we go. Again, we do not opening a door. It's very easy to see like direct applications for things, but sometimes you gotta look at things in a different way. There we go. We'll use these two. We'll put an image right there of probably Bucket and Sadra, just to get an idea. Now we get to the skills section. Yes, this has been literally about an hour into this stream, and I've gotten 2 pages done. This is an 80-page document. Send help. So, but skills represent characters' acquired abilities and talents over the years. These are in start far more open. So, untrained, being Paragon skills are determined by assigning 15 to... These were the basic skills. There weren't actually that many of them. And these were taken almost directly from another game, otherwise known as my older games, which we don't talk about anymore because they were kind of bad. Let's actually think. Is there a good list of skills somewhere? Is there a game with a good list of skills that I can just nick? Because let's think, what are these skills going to be doing? What's the purpose of these skills? The skills are to help flesh out a character and who they are. giving them a little bit more context to why they are the way they are. If we do this, what we can do is make skills even more broad, not tied to any particular thing. They're just a bucket of skills that you have. So if we're using just the bucket of skills approach, let's see, do I have any game directly that just has a couple skills just handed to you, said ready to go, fuck you? This is gonna be a yep, that ain't it. Nope. Nope, not looking at the fucking Log Horizon game. Because yeah, Log Horizon actually has an RPG, by the way. I want y'all to remember that. Log Horizon RPG, kind of jank, but it's kind of jank I can get behind. Welcome to... Actually, let me see. Welcome to Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound. My friend paid me money to go over this game at one point, which I should actually make a video about it, because I actually don't hate this game. I think it's alright. Not great, but it's kind of it's okay. Like, I have a character sheet I can work with. I just want to reference. If we use these as our basic skills, what... Yeah, this is going to be the only time you ever see me talk anything nicely about Age of Sigmar. Sorry, Witch Creek. So actually, what we can do here is, if we take the basic concepts, not necessarily tie any of the skills to anything, but just like, here's a broad selection of skills. So let's just do... Fuck AOS, fuck Soulbound, fuck the Jannies. Soulbound, I don't hate Soulbound. That's the thing, I don't actually hate Soulbound. I think this game actually has quite a few good ideas. I think the issue with this game does boil down to the fact that it is... Age of Sigmar. I think that's the biggest issue for it, for me anyway. See, if I want to keep things real open, it's just like, you're just going to get a handful of... Hello, phone. More like soulless, am I right? Yeah, pretty much. Like, you're joking, however. I think, like, the biggest issue is Soulbound. This is someone who spent like a 6 hour fucking stream on working on this. I think the biggest issue with Soulbound does boil down to the fact that it's like oh well, we have to, pretty much all of the classes are based off the models. And because they're based off the models, they have to try to justify all of them in one way or another, and it doesn't work sometimes. Honestly, I think Soulbound is given just enough attention for G. Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay gets shit every month. Yeah, like, people have said I need to read 4th edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I need to read it. It's so awesome. It's so great. And I'm like, guys, I don't think you quite understand. I'm a fucking fantasy roleplay 2nd edition apologist. Like, I am an apologist for that fucking game. Any flaw it has, be like, don't worry, it's completely intended. I love it. I love 2nd edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I will die on a hill for that game. I need to go over 3rd edition one day. One day, I will go over 3rd edition. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I will. that is a fucking disaster area. It's hilarious, but it's a disaster area. So let's actually think. Athletics, I don't think we need an athletic skill. Awareness is always good. We could probably call that, you know what I'm going to call that instead? We'll call it investigation. Oh, I know. The thing is, like, 4th edition, from what I've gathered about 4th edition, it's just like, it's 2nd edition, but better. Like, it's just like, it's expanded a lot on the 2nd edition, but it's like, ugh, I don't know. You know, I'm the guy who's like, I don't know. It's like, I get how the OSR guys feel sometimes. I get it. I should read it, though. Ballistic skill. I'm not gonna call it ballistic skill. We'll call it like ranged weapon. We'll do actually, ranged weapons. Because if you want to be a trick shooter, invest in ranged weapons. Beast handling, no. Channeling, no. Crafting, I guess we can do that. Determination. Marksman, that's a good one. Devotion, no. Dexterity, no. I can probably... Entertain, we can replace with performance. I like performance over things like entertain. Yeah. This is... I don't think people realize it. Like, the reason I go over all these games isn't for you all. Fuck you all. I'm doing it for me. I just want to have, like, a good justification to, like, rip through a bunch of weird-ass games and steal whatever I can from them. Like, I have a weird collection of games. So, you know what that reminds me? If you ever want a really odd game that you should, like, everyone should take a look at one point. Cunning might be a good idea. We'll add cunning. We'll replace weapon skills with... We'll replace it with just fighting. Just straight out fighting. Crafting. I don't know what we do with crafting. Yeah. If you've never actually read through A Song of Ice and Fire role-playing, read through it at least once. It's a very interesting read. I need to do... You can't have the cunny skill. No. No, please. I'm not... No, please. I have no idea how I plan on doing fixing that issue. I have zero plans for that. Let's see. This is the original One Ring. This is in 2nd edition, which apparently 2nd edition is very good. Very good. What skills do you have? You have common skills. Athletics, awareness. Arcana we can use for more like... Arcana we can change for like magic. Like, Arcana is like your magic bullshit skill. That's all that's going to be. Investigation's like, I want to find things out. Marksman. Crafting, we can... What's a good alternative to crafting? Can't come up with attributes for a war game, let alone RPG attributes plus skills. RPG attributes are easy. War game stuff throws me for a fucking loop every time. Every single time, like, war game stuff throws me for a loop. Just because it nothing ever sounds right. You know what, crafting, that's the best way I can think about it. Dexterity, don't need dexterity. That's already going to be kind of covered. Unless there's a... No, we're not going to have dexterity. Performance, fortitude. We're not going to have that. Guile. I like guile, actually. Intimidation. Intimidation. No, what we're going to have is... See, if I want to invoke a weird game, what I could do is stancing. Just like standing up to people, just be... Actually, I like travel. I think I'll add travel in. Guile is fine. We can add guile to a lot of things. Intuition. We can add intuition. Lore is fine. Medicine is fine. Might, no. Nature will change to... Actually, we'll add nature, sub out survival, sub out reflexes. Stealth is fine. Fighting is good. Cunning is good. I like cunning. Actually, we have guile, so actually, no, we sub out guile for cunning. Crafting, we'll just do craft, keep things simple. Courtesy, battle, riddle, lore, hunting, search. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 skills by default. What other attribute, what other games do I have to work with? Exalted. Tell me more about Exalted. God. If you ever want to see what true sadness is, this is 2nd edition Exalted. This is my personal favorite. But I like 2nd. Exalted is my white whale and will continue to be my white whale to the day I fucking die. Is there anything here that I need? No, nothing's gonna work there. White whale. Holy Grail. Let's see, is there any... I have Garfield Hander, Hyperborean Mice. Does Hyperborean Mice have anything I can work with? It's kind of a silly one, but Hyperborean Mice is good, and you should all play it. Oh yeah, I forgot. This doesn't have a fucking character sheet in it. Yeah, this is the character sheet. It's jank. I love it. Insight, alertness, sailing, streetwise, tracking, engineering, craft, common lore, bluff. No, not seeing anything at the top of my noggin here. I want to keep things like it's still a little bit fantasy, Tara. So I want to keep things a little, rather than fabrication, I want to shift over. Trade might work. Like, in a different game, leadership would be useful. I would say that. In a different game, leadership would be useful. Tracking might be useful. Appraising. Because, like, the best thing to kind of think about, like, this is the, you know, fantasy harem anime bullshit RPG. Like, half of me doesn't even know if I want to keep the skills in and just sub out skills for something else. That is an entirely valid option in my book. Is sub out the skills for something else entirely. Like, there's no raw skills. You just change them out. Do I do that? Do I do that? That, my friends, I do have perform. At least I thought I did. Yeah, performance. That is an option. What I was flirting with for a while there was maybe shifting it over to the idea of, like, skills aren't necessarily like skills. It's not like, oh, I have fighting 3 or something. it's more along the lines of, oh, I have the fighting skill, therefore I get something out of it. What I was thinking of, like, let's say you have a body of 4. Let's say you have body 4. If you have the fighting skill, instead of rolling 4d6, you roll 4d8 or something. Or something like that. Kind of like you're getting something more out of it by virtue of being more skilled in it. If we do that, it would be 5, 6, 7, 8. You'd have 50-50 effectively for... That could work. It'd be a talent type thing. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by a talent type thing? To modify the skill. Yeah, this is one of those weird things, because I'm like going out of my way because I don't want to make a very hardcore combat game. It's not about combat. It's about characters going on an adventure to do a thing. Combat is a situation that occurs in that situation. That makes any remote amount of sense. I'm not going insane, I swear. So... well, let's think. Like, you're reliably good at this, you get a +1 per die. That might not be a terrible idea. That's what I was thinking about, increasing the die type. Because if we already have, ones are critical fail. Runs are critical fails, effectively. Therefore, like D8s not only increase the likelihood of getting a 5 up, otherwise known as a success. It would be 5, 6, 7, 8. It would be 50-50 effectively at that point. You also lower the chance of rolling 1s. I would say D10s, but that seems a little bit... That's a little high. That would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be 6. That'd be sick. That's a pretty significant amount, unless you have very little amount of skills. Unless you have like a horribly small amount of skills, that could work. Like you only have like 2, 3 skills at max, but I'd want characters to feel a little bit more nuanced than that. Do I though? D6s for that's a little bit messy. That's gonna get a little bit messy. I know that right now. That'll get messy. Okay. How about this? Because one of the big things that I've always liked doing, and what this was in the original game as well, is that monsters have more attributes. Humans, or the uncorrupted in the old game, have more skills. You are able to do things more precisely, and humans are more designed to be very, dedicated to certain areas, while monsters are more supposed to have like these broad sets. That's kind of the idea, the back and forth. That was the differences between the two. So monsters just weren't the thing that did everything. But the issue with that was monsters did do everything because you rolled attributes for everything. So if we go under this idea, like monsters are going to consistently have more attributes. The problem being they can't use those attributes as well because they don't have as much skills. So if we give humans, let's say 3 of these kinds, like let's say humans get like 3 kinds of skills, while monsters only get like 2. But we do the D10. We'll do D10s. No, let's do D. I'm moving toward D8s. Because I have 2, I have 3 options here. There's the thing. There's 3 options. Either we do skills with numerical value. Numerical value. Which is the idea of, I have fighting, I have fighting 3. By virtue of having fighting, I will add +3 dice to whatever roll I make, no matter what kind of thing I'm doing. skill with die value. So it's like by virtue of having fighting, anytime it's rolled, it's now a D8. Or skill with, how do I want to word this? More like, skill with more of like a meta value to it, which is like fighting allows me to do X. But how D8s are a weird die. They always have been. They're weird dice. But we want to keep things simple. Think Japanese RPG. Actually, if we're thinking Japanese RPG, why don't we look at one? Okay, let's look at it. Let's look. Let's just open up my little folder here. D8s are underappreciated. I will say that. D8s are perpetually underappreciated. They are one of the weird dice, though. They are very, like D12s. D12 is weird. D8 is weird. D10's like, okay, it's 10. It's fine. D12s and D8s, no. Perpetually underappreciated. Okay, I always forget. What I should do is finally make the video on the Can Call RPG. If you ever want to see what pure fucking suffering is, I'm just going through my folder right now. I'm trying to find this particular game. Here it is, Kamigakari. Kororata, Requiem. Kamigakari doesn't have any skills, do they? They don't have any skills. Fuck. What RPG does have skills in? Nothing. Like, barely any JRPG ever have fucking skills. I forgot. They never fucking have skills. None of them. Except that they're like fucking some weird ass game. I am going insane. There's an answer here. I know the thing is, like, I know there's an answer. What the fuck? Oh, it's this one. No. Why do I have See, this is the best part of I get to go through my weird ass folder full of weird shit that I never get to show anybody. Mermaids after the end. Do you have something I can use? You're gonna tell me. Okay, that's boobs. No, you just add, don't you? You just add the skills. Fun fact, this is also a VTuber, I know. Pants, skills. They define the target number you're trying to roll under for a given task. Nope, that's definitely not it. Is this the cunny skill? No, this is not the cunny skill. It will never be the cunny skill. Okay. Sit down, think about it. I want to make this game easy to understand, easy to play. We're all hanging out, we're all having fun. We've got together. We want to play the game. What do we do? I have a skill in something. I'm good at it. Do I roll separate dice? Which is not enhanced local to police department. Oh, out of like all the games I've had, that's a very tame one, unfortunately. I've got some weird shit in here. Actually, give me one second. I need to check if this is the Hoft version or not. This is definitely not the Hoft version. Okay, I can't actually show Zetai Raito. Cannot actually show that version. Do I have the Hoft edition? I have to have the Hoft edition, right? Yes, I do have the Hoft edition. Perfect. Okay, this is the one I'm going to jail over having. This is Zetai Raito. when I say it's the Hoft edition, I replace every single cock or boobs with just David Hasselhoff. Yeah, no, this is the one I'm going to the sadness place over. Thanks, David Hasselhoff. And even some, I'm confident I don't. Yeah, no, this is the really degenerate one. Yeah, this is not my proudest thing having in my collection, but I had to go over Zettai Raido after multiple requests, by the way. Multiple. Vente. Ryu hates skills. That's one thing I've always learned about Ryu. Ryu hates skills. Blades in the dark? Oh, fuck Blades. Blades doesn't do anything right. What am I thinking? What do I want? What do I want from this? Let's take a step back. Take a step. You were about to say not your proudest fact. No, actually. Zettai Raido was... I was horrified going through it. Horrified. If you look at the Curious Case of Degeneracy on YouTube, if you ever get curious, you can just see the absolute horror in my voice as I'm going through it and being like, this is the thing I had to go through. It's awful, and you totally shouldn't play this because it's bad. So, let's think. Skills. What do skills do? What do skills do at the end of the day? Skills are a way for characters to express themselves. It's to differentiate characters with the same attributes but have different skill sets so that you are able to do things differently. In this game, what are we aiming to do? We are aiming for the Monster Girl hentai visual novel, effectively. You are the hero. There's a central character who is the hero, and everybody is trying to build a relationship with him. Because the higher your relationship is, the higher you're able to succeed at things. The better you are. And that's how you kind of inadvertently level up as well. You're getting stronger, he's getting stronger. Everybody wins. However, sounds like Maid. In a degree, trust me, and there's a reason. There's a distinct reason I was going down this angle. And we want to emphasize two things. We want to emphasize these are characters going on fairly comfy adventures. Comfy, simple, easy, nice, pleasant, clap, 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 everyone's having fun. Nothing too serious. Combat's going to be resolved pretty quickly. It's not really a problem. It's more about the general adventure we're going on. God, I'm gonna be that guy. I don't like Maid. I do not like Maid. I tried to like Maid. Anytime someone's like, "Do you like Maid?" I'm like, "Yeah, Maid RPG." Woo. I do not like Maid. Maid is too light for me. It's boring. But I'm not that kind of player, unfortunately. I'm not the kind. Every experience with Maid I've had has been kind of cringe. And cringe in a bad way, not like, ooh, wow, this is kind of cringe. No, it was just been weird, and I've been weird about it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I tried it many times, and every time people are just weird about it. People have weird fetishes about it. It's like, stop it. No, not doing that. That was when I kind of stopped playing on actually getting TG games for a while. I'm like, I don't like Maid. It just doesn't appeal to me anymore. I've grown from it. If someone was like, I'm going to play Maid, and I knew you and you were a good friend of mine, then yeah, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's play Maid. But I'm not going to search out. I'm not going to say I enjoy the game. I enjoy playing the game if I had people I like playing it. That's kind of the difference there. That's my scathing review of Maid. I do have a scathing review of Maid, but it's not really a game. It's a game you play with your friends. But skills are a way for characters to express themselves. We want to angle the game to be more of a fairly comfy adventure, going from point A to point B, solving small issues as Monster Girls and a hero. No corruption, no anything like that. Skills help differentiate. You have a skill, you are good at that thing. We give a skill. If you have a skill in something, I'm going to say you're going to get roll a D8 instead. No, not a D8. I don't want to change the dice. Why am I trying to change the dice? I keep going back trying to change the dice. Because that's the most immediate way I can. How do you represent someone being better at a skill without just assigning more dice to it? Because they don't want to assign too much dice. Because that was what the issue what happened in the original version. People had just a shit ton of dice. However, we assign them... Gonna have to fucking do Tales from the Wood, aren't I? And reroll certain failures. Now, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to use Tales from the Wood for this. Tales from the Wood was actually a game about woodland creatures. They had actually a fairly interesting system with the idea being like if you had a skill in something, instead of rolling d6s, you would roll d10s. We're going to roll d10s. Why d10s? Because it's giving something a very big advantage. Because pretty much all you need is a 5 up. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a huge advantage over a D6. But you don't have that many skills. You're only going to get 1 or 2 skills, and you're not going to get that many going forward. So let's just do... okay. Intuition, travel, performance, craft, marksman, investigation, arcana, intuition, lore, medicine, nature, stealth, technology. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 14. 14 skills. Feels like I need 1 more to really even things up. Actually, no, we can make a table. We'll do that. No, unless we make another one. We need 1 more to really tie everything together. Unless we do something along the lines of... We add mysticism in, with the idea being that mysticism is more about esoteric bullshit knowledge rather than like strict like knowledge. That's you learning, knowing about myths and shit. You can be a mythic person with high soul or something like that. You're like, yeah, of course you know all the stories and shit like that. So here's what you're gonna do. So here's how this is gonna work. Skills represent characters' acquired abilities. So what we're going to do instead is skills represent a character's history, and acquire and talents in certain fields. A character can select a talent, can select a skill, character with a skill will instead roll a d10 roll d10s instead of d6s for checks. This represents a higher understanding of the action taking place, as well as a heightened ability to succeed at the action. Heightened ability to succeed at the action. By Jove, I have it. I have the idea. I'm a genius. I fucking know it. Okay, I know exactly what to do here. Perfect. I know what we can do. I have a system for this already. It's waifu core. It's always been waifu core. Finally, this is it. Okay. I know what I'm doing now. This represents a heightened understanding of the action taking place, as well as heightened ability to succeed at the action. Let's see. Human characters have we'll say three skills to begin with, while a monster character only has one skill. Humans are industrious and able compared to their monster allies. However, humans often lack the necessary ability to fully capitalize off their innate knowledge. So it's kind of along the idea that humans have a lot of skills. The unfortunate things, they don't have the attributes to kind of back it up. It's harder for them to get attributes, so that D10, so it's like, oh, well, I'm rolling a bunch of D10s. Well, the secret is, however, you're going to be rolling just less dice. So yeah, your D10s can more actively succeed. However, it's harder to succeed. However, what we can do up here, because I'm a fucking genius. God, I am so good at this whole thing sometimes. So, let's do this. We want to do Monster Girl Adventures. Full set of dice, D4 to D20, 3 to 5 players, a Dark Lord, and little to no shame about playing it. When a character attempts an action with a chance of failure. Actually, a check is called. The character rolls their attribute plus modifiers and attempts to score a success. A success on a die is any die that shows a 5 or higher. On a 5 or higher. 5 or higher. If a die scores a 10 or higher, it counts as 2 successes. So the number of successes needed is called a target number, set by the Dark Lord. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's doing that thing again. It's doing my favorite thing, where pictures and shit like fly out into the goddamn ether, never to be seen again, because that's what Google Docs does. However, if we do that, combined successes, if the rolls are 1 on the die that's corrupted, and number of failures, successes carries more corrupted die than successes, corrupted failure, and gone from bad to worse. So how we got here, we go down here a little bit more. So what we can do here is require time and effort to do such. All basic attribute die will always be a D6. All attribute die will always be a D6. We're always going to be rolling D6. When we do that, we can probably explain a little bit more up here, but then with this, I know what I plan on doing. So we have our basic skills. What we can do is we go here, we go, because now we have something to work with. We have something very powerful to work with, which is skills. Place, innate knowledge, then we do actually we don't even have we don't have corruption skills. We don't need to worry about personal skills right now. What we can do is we place this right here. We can control shift 8. No, we don't want to control shift 8. We want to insert a new table. We'll do something like this. You're gonna make me type in every single one of them, aren't you? You're gonna make me type in every single one of them. So, in case you don't know my complete fucking madness, what's going on here, what we can do is something very simple. In waifu core, known mostly for Deep Blue Girl, there's one of the concepts of that you are able to take additional dice for doing things. Now, what this means is, say for example, you might have an advantage of some kind, and I may say, okay, you're going to be rolling whatever your attribute is, let's say you have an attribute of 3d6, and you're using a sword or something. You can add a d8 to it. You're using something that is fundamentally beneficial, and earlier on you have something else. Cool, so you can add in another d6 to the mess, and you're like, oh, I have a skill for it. I can take away all my attribute dice and instead replace them with d10s. And like, cool, I'm at like I have this fundamental advantage. I, roll my dice and be like, oh, cool, I rolled 2 successes and a failure, because even on d10s I can't roll for jack shit. So it's more along the so you have a little bit of dynamic rolling and such, with the idea being that you are able to acquire these dice. Now, in Deep Blue Girls, there's actually a very precise method of doing this, and that very precise method of doing things comes from these basic rolls before combat begins. I can take some of the similar ideas for this game, though, and apply it to different parts of it. Like, hey, yeah, you have relationship die. If you want to use your relationship die, you can add additional better die to things. It's like, that's a good thing. You want to do this. Let's see, do I want to do... Okay, here's what I'm... If you ever want to see something really cursed, what I can do here is we go to the untitled spreadsheet. We don't need any of you really right now. We do this, Control C, Control V, because if you don't do this, it gets very mad at you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not going insane, I swear. Okay, so actually what we need to do actually is we need to do this. We need to hit sort ascending. I need one more skill because I'm a dummy and didn't think about this. So we got Arcana, crafting, Arcana, craft, cunning, domestic, fighting, intuition, investigation, lore, marksman, medicine, mysticism, nature, performance, stealth, travel. I already have performance, so what we need is... Do we have any fun skills that anyone mentioned in here? Leadership, track, appraise. Actually, what we can do... There we go. We'll add in the mercantile ability. I mean, I'm in the guild. Don't worry. I'm just unleashing my true British nature. What can I say? Normal text. Oh wow! Look, everyone. We have our cool skills here. They look very nice. These are just our basic skills. Start row above. We can do skills. What I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to set all of you to 10. And then we're going to do a description. And which is the Arcana, the way of mystic arts, and understanding them. Mystic arts, magic scholarship, magic scholars. And what we'll do is here's the basic way. Magic scholars have a high Arcana. Craft. The method to construct, fabricate, and produce goods. Blacksmiths have high craft. Cunning. The ability to manipulate and deceive others. Spies have high cunning. The skill at managing a home, from cooking, cleaning, and basic repairs. Housewives have high domestics. Housewives or house husbands have high domestic skills. Have high domestic. Fighting. The raw talent when it comes to physical combat. Soldiers have... Actually, scholars have Arcana. Have... Not high Arcana, just have craft. Have cunning. Have domestic. Soldiers have fighting. Intuition. Lies and deceit. Coming from lies and deceit, both verbal and written. Who would have high intuition? Lawyers have intuition. Investigation. Finding the hidden and discovering clues. Detective. Actually, the simple answer would be investigators have high. So I want to be precise. Law speakers have high. What would be a good tax collectors have investigation. Lore. Let's see. Actually, what we can do is scholarly knowledge of a wide variety of lore, of understand, of concepts. Let's see. A scholarly knowledge of a wide variety of concepts and sciences. marksman. The Rangers have marksman. Okay, what we can do here is medicinos. The actually diagnosing, tending, and treating. Actually, we'll see treating and curing illness and injury. What would be a good barbers have medicine. What would be a doctors have? Yeah, doctors have medicine. Mercantile, the ability to haggle, appraise, and find good prices for a variety of goods. Merchant princes have mercantile. Actually, we'll do merchants have mercantile. Wow, it's amazing. The connection to the spiritual world, spiritual world, and theological practices. Priests have mysticism. Nature, the conceptual understanding of nature and how to survive in it. Who would have really the ability to live in nature very well? Travelers. Actually, no, that's a terrible one. Who would be out in nature a lot? We already used rain. Actually, no, we archers have that. We can do rangers. We can do what would be druids. Druids would have nature. Druids have nature. Performance. The talent to and the ability to entertain others with a performance of some kind, from instruments, song, dance, theater, or showmanship. Street performers have performance. That's kind of a I will do no actors. Actors have performance. Stealth, the skill at remaining undetected. Let's see, the skill at remaining undetected when moving and finding. Let's see, the skill remaining undetected by others. Undetected by others for a variety of reasons. Thieves have stealth. Travel, the ability to understand the roads and travel them with. Understand the roads and survive off the land from location to location. Adventurers have travel. I can probably come up with a better one. Who would have a lot of road wardens have travel. So here's all our basic skills. Sneezed. Snoozed. I'm doing it. I'm sneezing. Okay. Okay, you know what? Here's our basic skills. These are like the most basic understandings of our skills. These doesn't have to be good. Here's the thing. This is the beautiful thing about this. These don't even have to be very good, because what I can do, because remember everybody, don't do something you don't need to do when you can be instead lazy about it. We'll do 0.5. Remember everybody, always be lazy when you're designing your own game. Do things to make things as easy as possible when need be. Is because guess what we have down here, which is personal skills. Originally, these were kind of a band-aid method, but what I can do here instead is make this a side note, because this will be heading 2. What we can do is we can make this a heading 3 about this, and we'll keep the harpy here, and we'll kind of... Hello, harpy. Yeah, that's a siren, I believe. I'm gonna write this just as a note. Personal skills are more... Personal skills are skills not listed. Listed, comma. The above are simple skills. For reference, and are incredibly common. If a player wishes to have more detailed skills, or a particular skill, then consult this section, and then have like a sub note, which is specialties, which are like specialties, which we can do specialties, which we'll do later on. A character may develop a specialty in a skill, focusing it down to a point. If they do embrace, let's see, if they do embrace it, they gain X, Y, and Z. There we go. I will do that on Wednesday. There we go. But here's the basic idea. These are the basic skills that like everyone's going to have roughly. Most people are going to be able to understand these kind of skills, and these are going to be pretty common for everybody involved. Most adventurers might have crafting, arcana, or something like that. Personal skills allow you to... This is pretty much a rule dedicated in the book to say you can have a skill that isn't listed here. You just have to put it in here, and like here's some like things about what skills are. Skills are very broad. They're kind of bigger, and you know, if you want to have something more specific, go down to specialties. Specialties allow you to add dice if you have it. So you're building your pool up a little bit more to make sure things go smoother for you. Specialties are things like, performance, singing. You have to have the original skill to have that advanced skill. That's all specialties are going to be. They're going to be very simple, very easy, very to the point. If you have a specialty, then X. Or if you have a specialty, you can't critically fail on any of these, and you get to reroll ones or something. It's going to be shit like that. Very easy, very to the point, nothing too exciting. These are going to be the basic ones. So if we make so this is going to be a complete simple idea. So we want to create Sir Bucket right now. Sir Bucket's got a total of 13 attribute points to spend. So let's do grace, men, physical, and soul. We know his grace is high. We know his physical is going to be high. He's not going to be the smartest guy in the world, and his soul is going to be pretty average. So he's got 4, 8, 10, 13. Like again, he doesn't need to be smart. He's got other people to cover for him for that. Actually, I can probably dump his soul down a little bit more and make him a lot tougher. He's a big tough dude. That's his entire idea. Skills, on the other hand, he has, since he's human, he 3 skills. He has intuition. he has fighting. And he has... we'll say... that would be another good one for him. Actually, I could probably add in a personal skill for him, which would be something like, let's see, because he's very intuitive, he's fighting man, and he has, we'll give him a funny skill like pain threshold. He just does not... He does not register pain very well. Like, that's kind of the joke, is like he's this big stupid dude. Or we'll see, fighting, and then he has no, we want to keep things simple. We'll give him travel. There we go. Actually, no, I know exactly what we can do. We can do communication. He's very good at talking with other people. He may not be the smartest, he may not be the most metaphysical, but he is just good at talking with others. However, we'll do Sadra. Sadra, on the other hand, has a different skill, different stats. So this is what a basic character is going to look like. We're not done yet with characters, but I just want to make sure this works. So she has 15 points. So we want to make... She has low grace. She isn't very graceful. She's very smart, however. She's not very physically capable. So let's see. So that's 15. I can actually... Sadra is literally very intelligent, but she is, very soul. She's a lot of soul, very, very smart. She is, however, not very graceful, and she is very, very fragile. And she kind of knows she's fragile. That's kind of the issue. That's why she uses magic a lot. And her skills are mostly Arcana, and she actually has just one, which she's going to have Arcana. Actually, no, she's going to have Lore. She's a traveler. That's what she likes. She likes learning things. There we go. This is what our basic characters are going to look like. Perfect. Okay, this is turning out a lot smoother than I was thinking it was going to. So, I'm going to call it there for today. On Wednesday, the plan is simple. We're going to get this section done. This is the plan. We're going to get this section done. We're going to get health done. We're also going to get this done. We're going to get the willpower system done. Willpower is going to be quite different. It's not really going to be willpower necessarily. It's going to be something a little bit different. Again, because we're going PG, this is going to be more along the lines of like... I'm probably going to replace it entirely with just the affection system, being like, this person has a hold on you a little bit because you like this person, and because of that, if you go along with what they say, you get a bunch of points. If you don't, you don't. Most likely, I'm going to fix the uncorrupt, I'm going to change some of the ideas here a little bit. I might actually even make this just a side thing, being like, hey, do you really want to play another fantasy race? Here's what you do. However, humans are by default. Everything else is optional. Fuck you. So, I'm going to call it there for right now. So, thank you all for watching. My name is Enslaved Anon. Hope you all had a wonderful rest of your time. Here's Dungeon Meshi, and you should all read Dungeon Meshi, because it's very good. So, I'm going to call it there. Godspeed, good luck, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Everybody laugh at Ironside for being late. Yeah, we're gonna call it there for today. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to be doing the Never Going Home video. I have that all planned out. That one's gonna... I don't know how long it's going to be. I might trim down the script a little bit. That one's a little bit weird, but that video will go up on Wednesday. I'm gonna give you all a spoiler for the Never Going Home video. No, it's not very good, but it's not very good in a different way than you would think. So thank you all. Godspeed. Good luck. You know all the rest. If you need me, at me. You know how it goes. I actually need to read another game entirely, and actually I can. I'll show y'all what I'm gonna have to be reading here soon, because I said I would, and I meant to do it, but I just fucking forgot about it entirely, and I feel like a dingus for it. I felt like a dick. It was like, oh no, what have I done? I've made a mistake. I made the boo-boo. Let's see. I want to go. Where's the mechanical discussion? This is it's a TG project that someone posted in the homebrew thread. Someone posted it in the homebrew thread, and they're like, we're looking for people to look at this. Can you please look at this? I joined the server, and everybody was like, oh, wow, look, it's someone who works on mechanics. Oh, no, it's someone who works on mechanics. Can you please look at mechanics? And like, oh, what have I done? Oh, what have I done? But yeah, I'll look at this and see what I can do. So yeah, have fun. That's my plan. So Godspeed, good luck. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. If you need me, you know where to find me. Hopefully, also, before I forget, hopefully by this Wednesday, I have all the things up for next month's cases, as well as the next round of games. So keep an eye out for that. So I'm away finally. Goodbye.